All the prophets, the Ashab-i Kiram, the Tabi'in, and the Salaf al-Salihin, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, strove very much to perform Amr-i Ma'ruf and Nahi Munkar. They endured much torment and torture for this cause. If it were good in our religion not to interfere with anybody, it would not have been said that it was a symptom of Iman for the heart to refuse a sin. Indeed, it is stated in the Hadith, prevent the sinner from sinning with your hand. If you're unable to do so, prevent him through words. If you cannot do so either, dislike it, the sin, through your heart. And this is the lowest grade of Iman. If it were good not to perform Amr-i Ma'ruf, the worshipper would not do Amr-i Ma'ruf to a sinning tribe, would not be destroyed together with them. As a matter of fact, it is declared in a hadith, Allah Ta'ala commanded Hadrat Jabril to sink a city into the earth. Jabril alayhi salam said, Ya Rabbi, a born slave of thine in that city has not disobeyed thee even for a moment. He has always obeyed and worshipped thee. Sink him too. His face never changed when he saw sinners. Question. The 108th ayat of Surah Al-Ma'idah purports, O my born slaves who have Iman, take care of yourselves. If you find the right way, others going astray will not harm you. That is, Amr-i Ma'ruf and Nahi Munkar are not permitted to be done, are they? Answer. To find the right way mentioned here, it is also necessary to do Amr-i Ma'ruf and Nahi Munkar. In other words, Allah Ta'ala declares, My believing born slaves, if you do what I have commanded, and worship, and perform Amr-i Ma'ruf and Nahi Munkar, others going astray will not harm you. It is written in books when and why this ayat was revealed, and that many ayats and hadiths about Amr-i Ma'ruf and Nahi Munkar were commanded after it. Question. It is the Prophet's way to perform Amr-i Ma'ruf and Nahi Munkar and jihad against disbelievers. Isn't it the way of the awliya not to touch consciences, not to interfere with anybody? Answer. They are fard, commanded, in the Quran and hadiths. The commandments are for everybody. They are not only for some people. Prophets, awliya, savants, and the ignorant are equal in carrying out the commandments. Let us repeat that it depends on following the prophets to be saved from hell and to attain endless bliss. Whatsoever the awliya obtain in the name of wilayat, love, marifat, and qurbi illahi, they obtain it as a reward for following the prophets. What is other than this way is the way of deviation of the devil. Abdullah ibn Masud radiyallahu anhuma said, One day the Prophet drew a straight line for us and said, This is the right way which makes man attain Allah's grace. Then, drawing some slanting lines, like fishbones, on both sides of that line, he said, And these are the ways which the devil makes one deviate into. Therefore, if a person wants to walk on the right way without adapting himself to the prophets, certainly he will deviate into slanting ways. If he obtains something, it is istidraj, that is, it ends in loss and harm. Hadrat Ubaydullah-i Ahrar, Qudsus Sirruh, said, If they gave me all the kashfs and hals that are experienced through the heart, and yet if they did not ornament my heart with the Ahl Sunnat creed, I would deem myself destroyed, ruined. If they piled up all the disasters and desolations upon me, yet if they honored my heart with the creed of the Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat, I would never worry. If the hals and kashfs that occur to the awliya are consistent with following our Prophet, they make light upon light, and the subtle mysteries of the Ahkam-i Islamiyya begin to show up. All of the Ashab-i Kiram, radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'in, the Salaf al-Salihin, and the Mashaykh-i Mustaqim ul-Ahwal were in this state. In Tasawwuf, the two paths, which are the way of Nubuwwat and the way of Wilayat, are in Hakikat, a single way shown by the Ahkam-i Islamiyya. For both of them make man attain perfection on condition that he will adapt himself to the Prophet. Likewise, the saying that the ways that will guide man to Allah's grace and marifat are as many as the breaths of creatures is correct, for there is a way that guides every fancy to its origin, and there is a different ayn-i thabita, i.e. a mabda-i tayun, for each creature. In other words, a different divine name causes each creature to be created and to stay in existence. To attain through any of these ways depends on observing the Ahkam-i Islamiyya. He who deviates from the Ahkam-i Islamiyah will either break down on the way or will go off the rails. Then always begin with the Ahkam-i Islamiyah. That is, the Ahkam-i Islamiyah is like the trunk of a tree. All the tariqats, i.e. paths, are like the branches, veins, buds, leaves, and flowers of that tree. Amr-i Maruf can be performed in two ways. One is through speaking, writing, and any other means of communication. However, with this method, fitna may occur if one has an insufficient amount of knowledge, or if disrespect is shown to the people being addressed, or to their traditions or laws. The other approach is to be an exemplary person in your behavior by adopting the superior morality of Islam. In the present time, a smiling face, a friendly manner, obeying the laws, paying your taxes and debts, and not despising anyone or violating anyone's property, rights, or chastity is a most efficient and beneficial method of teaching Islam to others. For this reason, it is said that lisan ul-haq antaku min lisan il-qal, which means the language of the body and behavior without making use of words is superior to language itself. Therefore, to live in accordance with the superior morality of Islam is the best way of performing Amr-i Maruf and Nahi Munkar. It is to carry out an important fard, or obligation. It is to perform a worship, an ibadat. Tasawwuf is the way which enables man to develop the ikhlas, the purity needed in worshipping his Creator, and in enhancing the good morals necessary in his dealings with human beings. This way is taught by a murshid-i kamil. Every science has its own specialists. Man learns a specific branch of science from its specialist. The specialist of the knowledge of tasawwuf is the murshid-i kamil. Being a specialist in a branch of science will not make a person eligible for being called a murshid-i kamil.